Thank you so much. Hare Krishna and pranams to everyone. So today is December 6th. We are very, very fortunate that we have His Grace Gopishwara Prabhuji, who has kindly accepted to address us and give his valuable time and association to all of us. He's a very senior disciple of His Holiness Gopal Kṛṣṇa Goswami Maharaj and also the temple president of ISKCON Faridabad. Prabhuji and his good wife, Her Grace Krishna Ganga Mataji, have created such a wonderful community in ISKCON Faridabad and the nearby areas that now there are like thousands of devotees and well-wishers. When I was in Faridabad, the number of devotees was very limited, but because of Prabhuji's tireless preaching efforts and caring attitude and so many wonderful devotional qualities, Prabhuji has done so much miracles in the temple and touched the lives of so many people. So it is our great fortune and blessing that Prabhuji has accepted this proposal to share Krishna Katha with all of us. So let's welcome His Grace Gopishwara Prabhuji on our Sangha by 3 times loudly chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. We are so grateful to you.
Thank you so much, Shubhilas Prabhu, for your kind words, for which I'm very, very undeserving. But anyway, devotees are compassionate, merciful, always encouraging. So thank you for encouraging and giving me this opportunity to associate with the devotees here. Uh, the world is going through tough times. And we hear here that in US the situation is not so good either because of corona. But anyhow, all of us have assembled together to speak a little bit about Krishna, speak and hear a little bit about Krishna and his message. So thank you, Shubhilas Govind Prabhu. Shall we do a little bit of kirtan first and then we start, or what do you say?
Prabhuji, as you feel best. Kirtan is
Okay.
perfect.
Okay, we'll sing Jai Radha Madhav, and then on Veda base, if you can help me, 10 to 19.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Bhagavatam 10 to 19. That's what we'll discuss. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Jayo Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Jayo Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Jayo Gauranitai 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 Jayo Gauranitai Jayo Gauranitai 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 Jayo Gauranitai Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo, Prabhupada, 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 Sai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol. Cham Vishnupad Paramhans Purikacharya Shlochi Shivarabe Charnar Vind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Charya VD Founder Charya, Savior of the whole world, Padipavan Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, श्री श्री राधा गोविंद देव की जय, श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण की जय, पंचतत्व की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glory is to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glory is to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glory is to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 10th canto, 2nd chapter, verse number 19. Sadevaki sarva jagan nivasa nivasa bhuta nitaram nareje bhojendra ge agni shikhe varuddha sarasvati jnana khale yatha sati. I'll repeat twice. You can also, if you want, please repeat with your devices mute, but we can recite the verse in chorus. Sadevaki sarva jagan nivasa nivasa bhutani taram nareje bhojendra ge agni shikhe varuddha sarasvati jnana khale yatha sati. One more time, please. Sadevaki sarva jagan nivasa nivasa bhutani taram nareje Bhojendra ge agni shikhe varuddha sarasvati jnana khale yatha sati. We'll go to translation directly. We'll skip the synonyms. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Devaki then kept within herself the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the foundation of the entire cosmos. But because she was under arrest in the house of Kans, she was like the flames of a fire covered by the walls of a pot, or like a person who has knowledge but cannot distribute it to the world for the benefit of human society. Purport. In this verse, the word Gyan Khala is most significant. Knowledge is meant for distribution. Although there is already much scientific knowledge, whenever scientists or philosophers awaken to a particular type of knowledge, they try to distribute it throughout the world. for otherwise the knowledge gradually dries up and no one benefits from it. India has the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, but unfortunately, for some reason or the other, this sublime knowledge of the science of God was not distributed throughout the world, although it is meant for all of human society. Therefore, Krishna himself appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and ordered all Indians to take up the cause of distributing the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita throughout the world. यारा देखा तारे कहे कृष्ण उपदेश आवारा ज्ञाय गुरु हना आताराई देश. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Shri Krishna as they are given in Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 7.128. Although India has the sublime knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Indians have not done their proper duty of distributing it. Now, therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement has been set up to distribute this knowledge as it is without distortion. Although previously there were attempts to distribute the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, these attempts involved distortion and compromise with mundane knowledge. But now the Krishna consciousness movement without mundane compromises is distributing Bhagavad Gita as it is, and people are deriving the benefits of awakening to Krishna consciousness and becoming devotees of Lord Krishna. Therefore, the proper distribution of knowledge has begun, by which not only will the whole world benefit, but India's glory will be magnified in human society. Kans tried to arrest Krishna consciousness within his house, Bhojendra Gehe, with the result that Kans, with all his opulences, was later vanquished. Similarly, the real knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was being choked by unscrupulous Indian leaders, with the result that India's culture and knowledge of the Supreme were being lost. Now, however, because Krishna consciousness is spreading, the proper use of Bhagavad Gita is being attempted. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadgamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagan Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha E Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishubhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vischa Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutle Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaur Vani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Desha Tarine Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, this is a verse in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 10th canto, 2nd chapter, in which Lord Krishna is about to appear. He had appeared in the mind of Vasudev, from where he was transferred. He transferred himself to the mind of Devaki, and from there unto the womb. And she, Devaki's body has become effulgent because Krishna is inside, so the body has become effulgent, but she is currently in jail, imprisoned by Kansa. So Srila Prabhupada, in the purport of this word, as we just read, stresses on very important two words, which are Gyan Khala. Gyan can get vanquished or destroyed. Now, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches to Srila Rupa Goswami what is called as Rup Shiksha, wherein he says that there are actually unlimited number of living entities, who are who fall within one or the other category among 84 lakh species of life. So there are so many living entities wandering around. These living entities are broadly divided into two. One is achal and second is chal. Achal is stationary, who can't move. Chal is those who can move. Among the chal are birds, aquatics, animals, men, and obviously women, which means human. Men means human beings here. So we can see it's being filtered out. It's kind of a funnel. You know, there are unlimited number of living entities, and then among them are achal and chal, and then among chal are birds, aquatics, animals, men, and then among men there are uncultured and cultured or civilized. Uncultured means nothing to do with any kind of scripture. Cultured means at least following Vedic principles, at least aware, little bit of awareness is there about our Vedic culture. So that is why cultured. And then among these cultured also, there are some or many who do just lip service, as in they talk of Vedas, they talk of scriptures, but they continue to act sinfully. And then there are also a portion of civilized who are actual followers of Vedic principles. Now, among these, as I said, it's a funnel. You could see from such a huge unlimited number, we have come down to Achal, Chal, then Chal, also four categories. Among four categories, we are talking only of men or human beings. Human beings also uncivilized, we have left behind. We are now considering only civilized. And then among these civilized also, there are some who are called fruitive workers or sakam karmis. They distinguish based on scriptures between what is good and what is bad, what is correct and what is incorrect. But among these, so many sakam karmis, so many, actually so few as compared to total populace. Yet anyway, whatever little bit number of sakam karmis, among them there are very, very few who are actually jnanis. And jnani means he's better than karmi because he's at least not interested in sense gratification like the karmis. So jnani. And then among so many jnanis are there very, very few liberated, no, mukt. And then among the mukt are the highest, which are called bhakt. So it is a very, very rare and exalted position to have. What position are we talking of? Of being a devotee of the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Sanatan Goswami, Sarva Mahagunagan Vaishnava Sharire, Krishna Bhakte Krishna Gun Sakali Sanchare. He says, Vaishnav is one who has developed all the good transcendental qualities uh, within one's own personality. And these qualities develop gradually as one keeps on serving Krishna. So, the point to understand here is that Krishna has unlimited qualities in unlimited of unlimited dimension or magnitude, and Krishna can bless his devotees also with similar qualities. So it's a very, very high position to be a Vaishnava. It's a very, very rare and prized uh, position of being called a Vaishnava. But who is a Vaishnava? Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavatam, one of the purports, he says, a Vaishnava is superior to a Brahman because whereas Brahman knows that he is Brahman, not matter, a Vaishnava knows that he is not only Brahman but also an eternal servant of the Supreme Brahman. So Brahman knows I am Brahman, but a Vaishnava not only knows that I am Brahman, but also acts on that platform, which means does what? He serves the Supreme Personality of Godhead, practical service. So that is a Vaishnava. And as we were saying, to be a Vaishnava is a very, very high and exalted position. Again, in Jagannath Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was approached by Sataraj Khan and many of his colleagues, friends who had gone from Kulina Gram to Puri. So, approaching Mahaprabhu, they asked, "Who's a Vaishnava?" And then the second year when they went, they again asked Mahaprabhu, "Who's a Vaishnava?" And then the third year when they went, they again asked Mahaprabhu, "Who's the Vaishnava?" And each of the times Mahaprabhu answered. So first year when he was asked who's a Vaishnava, Mahaprabhu said, one who chants Hare Krishna once is a Vaishnava. The second year when he was asked the same question, Mahaprabhu said, one who chants consistently and continuously, Nirantar. Antar means break. Nirantar means without break. So one who chants without break is a Vaishnava. And third year when he was asked the same question, Mahaprabhu said, a personality upon seeing whom the others become Vaishnava is a Vaishnava. A personality upon seeing whom others start chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a Vaishnava. So Mahaprabhu gave three different definitions of Vaishnava. So today there was a specific session happening in which His Holiness Bhakti Rakshak Radha Gokulanand Maharaj, uh, he was saying he used very nice three words for these three stages in devotional service, three definitions of Vaishnava. He said first is a sadhak. Who's a sadhak? Who's trying to chant or sometimes chants. Second is a sadhu. Who's a sadhu? One who chants incessantly, continuously. He's a sadhu. And third is a siddh. Siddh means liberated, seeing whom the others also start chanting. So anyway, the point that we are trying to make here is, as we discussed, Vaishnava, becoming a Vaishnava or being called a Vaishnava is a very exalted position, and the minimum level one has to attain to fall in the category of Vaishnava is uh, one who has developed Nam Ruchi, who has developed taste for chanting. Only one who has developed taste for chanting can actually chant incessantly. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Jaiv Dharm, he says, Name Ruchi Jivadaya Vaishnav Ullas Daya Kori Deha More Ohe Krishnadas. He is praying. He is praying to Krishnadas. He is praying to a Vaishnava that please be compassionate upon me and please bless me. Bless me with what? Three things. Name Ruchi, Jiva Daya, and Vaishnav Seva. Taste for chanting, compassion towards living entities, and association of Vaishnavas. So, for Name Ruchi, we have to put in a lot of effort to be able to chant continuously, offenselessly, attentively. So this all comes in the category of Name Ruchi. So when we chant with a lot of concentration, with a lot of effort, trying to avoid offenses, we gradually develop a taste for chanting, which is Name Ruchi. Now the second point, which is said here by Bhakti Thakur, is what? Jiva Daya. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was giving Shiksha to Sanatan Goswami, Sanatan Shiksha, he explained 26 qualities of a Vaishnava. And the first quality of a Vaishnava that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned is what? Kripalu, which means compassionate, merciful. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, third canto, there's a beautiful pastime where Kardam Muni is doing a lot of tapasya, lot of austerity. And pleased with his tapasya, Lord Vishnu appeared in front of Karda Muni and then told something very precious to Karda Muni. I'll share with you. Prabhuji, do I have the share screen right? Yeah, okay, thank you. I do have, yeah. So, this is what um, Lord Vishnu told Karda Muni. He said, Kritvadayam cha jiveshu datva cha abhayam atmavan mai atmanam sahajagat drakshasi atmani chapi mam. He's saying two things. Kritva dayam cha jivishu. Kritva means one who gives or shows. Jiveshu is towards living entities. Daya means compassion. So one who gives compassion or mercy to living entities, number one. And second is Datva Cha Abhayam. Datva means again give. Cha is and. Abhayam is fearlessness. So one who is compassionate towards living entities and who gives assurance of safety to living entities. What does he get? Atmavan Mai. He becomes um, realized. He becomes self-realized and he becomes realized of the presence of Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the first benefit is Atmavan Mai, he becomes realized. Second is Atmanam Sahajagat Drakshasi Atmani Chapimam. He is able to see Lord everywhere. No, ito narsinga, parto narsinga, yato yato yami, tato narsinga. So such a person is able to actually see Lord. So to be able to see Lord, there is a qualification. And what is the qualification? Being merciful towards all living entities and giving them a feeling assurance of safety. In purport to this verse, Srila Prabhupada gives two very beautiful points. I'll read them out for you. Srila Prabhupada says, a person in Krishna consciousness or a devotee of Lord is always compassionate. He is not satisfied that only he himself is a devotee, but he tries to distribute the knowledge of devotional service to everyone. Now, the verse that we just read, 10th canto, 2nd chapter verse, in that Srila Prabhupada, if you recall in the purport, says, he mentions about scientists. So, whenever scientists get something new, they immediately distribute it. For example, is Corona time also. No, scientists keep on doing different analysis, different studies. The moment they come out with a certain hypothesis, they immediately broadcast it to the entire world. Now, corona can be stopped by mask. Immediately information is passed on. Then some other researcher, scientist does a research and he says, no, mask will not help in corona. He immediately passes on the information, spreads it everywhere. So Srila Prabhupada says scientists do that. And then he's making a very profound statement. Knowledge is meant for distribution. So like scientists are eager to distribute their mundane knowledge, similarly devotees should be ever ready to distribute what? Spiritual knowledge. That is the point that is being made here. Also, Srila Prabhupada makes one more point. Devotees should show mercy to the fallen souls and also give them assurance of fearlessness. To award fearlessness to common man is the greatest act of charity. Now, there are different kinds of charity one may do. Feeding, giving clothes, building hospitals, building orphanages, taking care of old age homes, different kinds of charities one can do, donating organs of the body. But what is the greatest charity? The greatest charity is to award fearlessness. And how can one become fearless? One can become fearless like a small kid will become fearless the moment he is sure about the presence of his father somewhere around him, not somewhere around him. The moment a small kid sees his father is around him, he becomes what? fearless. So similarly, one can become fearless only and only when one becomes connected to the Lord. And this is the point that is being made here. Giving fearlessness to everyone, showing compassion to everyone. This is Lord Krishna's uh, kind of direction to Karda Muni. What will happen? You will become self-realized and you'll be also able to see me. Now, in the beautiful pastime of Dhruv Maharaj, wherein Dhruv Maharaj said, I want to have a kingdom which is bigger than even my great grandfather. Uh, so, uh, when he was actually able to see the Lord, he meditated, he did tapasya, he was able to see the Lord, and then Lord, at the end of the pastime, a plane came, a spiritual, a Vaikuntha plane came, and Dhruv Maharaj was going to Vaikuntha Lok. And suddenly he remembered, oh, I should also take my mother along. He developed a compassion in his heart towards his mother. And here in Bhagavatam, fourth canto, this pastime, a beautiful verse. In the first part of that verse is given a description of Vaikuntha Lok, which is kind of our goal also. We also want to transcend this Kuntha Lok and go to the Vaikuntha Lok. And in the second part of the verse, it says, Yatna avrajan jantushu ye ananugrahaha vrajanti bhadrani charanti ye anisham. This is 4:12:36. Here it is said, Yat na avrajan jantushu ye ananugraha. This Vaikuntha Lok na avrajan cannot be reached. This Vaikuntha Lok cannot be reached, jantushu, by those who about whom it is being spoken, ye ananugraha, those who are not merciful, those whose hearts are hard, those who are not merciful, compassionate towards others. This Vaikuntha Lok cannot be reached by such people. So, which means merely chanting will not take us back home, back to Godhead. Merely reading will not take us back home, back to Godhead. What we have to do? We have to develop genuine compassion towards the others. Only one who is merciful can actually go back home, back to Godhead. The last part of the verse says this, Vrajanti Bhadrani Charanti Ye Anisham. Actually, Vrajanti, Vaikuntha Lok can be reached by whom? Bhadrani, who's always engaged in welfare activities of everyone. Anisham, Bhadrani, Anisham. Bhadrani means welfare, Anisham means constantly. So only one who's constantly engaged in welfare activities of others can go back to Vaikuntha. On the other side, one who has not developed mercy towards the living entities cannot go back home, back to Vaikuntha. Srila Prabhupada makes a point in the purport. Prabhupada says, from this material world, people can be transferred to Vaikuntha Lok if they incessantly engaged in welfare activities for all living beings. Such incessant welfare activities can really be performed only in Krishna consciousness. A Krishna conscious being is always engaged in planning how to take all of suffering humanity back home, back to Godhead. So we are through different pastimes, through different verses of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam here, trying to understand what is a Vaishnava. What is the mood of a Vaishnava? Where does the heart of a Vaishnava, what is in the heart of or what is the heart of a Vaishnava? One more pastime, the churning of the ocean pastime, the demigods, demons on the other side. And we know by churning, poison appeared. So when poison appeared, what happened? The demigods approached whom? Lord Shiva. And then Lord Shiva came, and again a beautiful description here, just the translations are mentioned. So we'll read out here. Srila Shukdev Goswami continued, Lord Shiva is always benevolent toward all living entities. When he saw that the living entities were very much disturbed by the poison which was spreading everywhere, he was very compassionate. Thus, he spoke to his eternal consort Sati as follows. I need a volunteer who can please read on from here. We have a couple of, I think 4 or 5 translations. So please, any volunteer who would like to read out?
I can read Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, Dhanavad Pranam. Srila Shukdev Goswami continued, Lord Shiva is always benevolent toward all living entities. When he saw that the living entities were very much disturbed by the poison which was spreading everywhere, he was very compassionate. Thus he spoke to his eternal consort Shati as follows. Lord Shiva said, My dear Bhavani, just see how all these living entities have been placed in danger because of the poison produced from the churning of the ocean of the milk. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, please continue. Continue.
Okay. It is my duty to give protection and safety to all living entities struggling for existence. Certainly, it is the duty of the master to protect his suffering dependents.
So we can see here the heart of Lord Shiva. Who is Lord Shiva? Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. There isn't a Vaishnava higher than Lord Shiva. We were talking of the mood of a Vaishnava. We were talking of the primary quality of a Vaishnava, of being merciful. And here we see Lord Shiva is very, very concerned when he sees that the poison has come. And he is ready to drink all that poison. Please, we can go further on, Prabhu. Can you please read further?
I can read.
People, yeah, Prabhuji, go ahead, please.
Go ahead, Prabhuji. I thought. Okay, people in general, being bewildered by the illusionary energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are always engaged in animosity towards one another. But devotees, even at the risk of their own temporary lives, try to save them. My dear gentle wife Bhavani, when one performs benevolent activities for others, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is very pleased. And when the Lord is pleased, I am also pleased, along with all other living entities. Therefore, let me drink this poison, for all the living entities may thus become happy because of me. Srila Sukadeva Goswami continued, after informing Bhavani in this way, Lord Shiva began to drink the poison, and Bhavani, who knew perfectly well the capabilities of Lord Shiva, gave him her permission to do so. Thank you.
What a wonderful couple. Both husband and wife are stretching themselves, taking the risk of their entire life. Why? To save others. You know, the first para of this on this slide, at the end, devotees, even at the risk of their own temporary lives, try to save them. Just about 2-3 hours back, we got a message today, a WhatsApp message, saying that there's a devotee in Russia, possibly southern Russia, who's been distributing books for 30 years now, very committed devotee. And today, or maybe it's yesterday's incident, when he was distributing books, then he came across a certain kind of a demon who had knife with him, and he, hit with that knife. He stabbed this devotee on 5 different parts of his body with the knife. So, and this devotee, so he's virtually risked his life. Why? To save others. Because he was out on Sankirtan primarily. So Lord Shiva is also saying here that devotees are always available, or always they endeavor, or always risk their entire life to save the other people. Vasudev Datta, you may have heard of his pastime with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is Vasudev Datta's prayer to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, Jagatatari te Prabhu tomara avatar, mora nivedan ek karah angikar. Oh Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have appeared for the benefit of everyone. You have appeared to deliver everyone. Mora nivedan ek karah angikar. Now I have a humble request. So will you please accept my humble request, my prayer? Karite samarth tumi ho dayamay, tumi man kara tabe anayase hai. You are capable in every which ways. You are very, very merciful, very, very compassionate, and you are capable every which ways. So if you make it a point to fulfill my wish or my request, then very easily it can be accomplished. And what is the desire or what is the request that Vasudev Datta has for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Jivera dukh dekhi mora hirday bidare, sarva jivera papa prabhu deha more sire. He says, as I look at the living entities all around me and their miseries that they are going in their life, my heart breaks to see them in that distressed condition. Sarv jivera pap prabhu deha more sire. So please, we all know distress is because of sin. So he's saying, whatever sins, whatever living entities have committed, please give them unto me. जीवेरा पाप लाना मुई करो नरक भोग सकल जीवेरा प्रभु गुछा भवरोग. And obviously, as I take the sins of all living entities unto my head, I will have to go to hell. So let me go to hell, Mahaprabhu. Don't worry. Please let me go to hell. But in return, what is he wanting? What is he requesting? Sakala Jivera Prabhu Gucha Bhavrog. But please, all the living entities, Prabhu, all the living entities, without discrimination, Gucha Bhavrog, please deliver them from this cycle of birth and death. Srila Prabhupada in the purport says, a Vaishnava is so liberal that he is prepared to risk everything to rescue the conditioned souls from material existence. Upon seeing this compassionate heart, so soft heart, compassionate and merciful heart of Vasudev Datta, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appreciates him. Ita Shuni Mahaprabhura Chita Dravila. When Mahaprabhu heard this wonderful prayer, such an amazing prayer of Vasudev Datta, Mahaprabhu's heart melted. Ashru Kampa Swar Bhange Kahite Lagila, and torrential rain of tears came out of his eyes and he was shivering. Who? Mahaprabhu. And Swar Bhange Kahite Lagila. He started speaking now to Vasudev Datta in a faltering voice. And what does Mahaprabhu say? Tomara vichitra nahe tumi sakshat prahlad. Tomara upare Krishnera sampurna prasad. It is not astonishing, this wonderful prayer that you have submitted to me, Vasudeva Datta. It is not astonishing because who are you? You are Sakshat Prahlad. Who is Prahlad Maharaj? In 7th canto, we hear this amazing prayer of Prahlad Maharaj to Narsingadev after the appearance of Lord Narsingadev. What does Prahlad Maharaj says? नैवोद्विजे पर दुरतया वे तरन्यास त्वद्वीर गायन महामृत मग्न चित्तः शोचे ततो विमुक्चेतसा इंद्रियार्थ माया सुखाय भरम udvahato vimudhan. He says, O best of the great personalities, Lord Nrsimhadev, I am not at all afraid of material existence, for wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. My concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies, countries. I am simply concerned with love for them. So, a Vaishnava on one side is not afraid at all, is not anxious at all. On the other side, he is in complete anxiety, lot of anxiety. He has no anxiety for himself. He has no fear of material existence. Why? Because he has absorbed himself in Krishna consciousness. At the same time, he is concerned. He is in a lot of anxiety. For whom? For those who have not yet taken to Krishna consciousness. So this is the mood of Prahlad Maharaj. This Prabhupada says in the purport, Prahlad Maharaj was happy and unhappy simultaneously. He felt happiness and transcendental bliss because of his being Krishna conscious. Yet, he felt great unhappiness for the fools and rascals who make elaborate plans to be happy in this material world. So that's a mixed emotion of a Vaishnava. He is satisfied in himself. Why? Because he is able to relate with Krishna. So by serving Krishna, by relating with Krishna, he is self-satisfied. He doesn't now go after material pleasures. At the same time, he is very, very dissatisfied. Why? Because I have not been able to serve Lord. Today morning, we had a glorification session for, I don't know how many of you know, His Holiness Bhakti Madhure Govind Swami Maharaj. Uh, he is one of the first 100 disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So, and he's the pioneer in youth preaching. In Srila Prabhupada's time, Maharaj got, his name was Makhan Lal Prabhu. He got initiated in 1968 and he was studying in the Berkeley University and he started preaching there. So youth preaching was started by Maharaj. So uh, Maharaj was in the glorification session today, this was being mentioned that Maharaj was also always very, very concerned that everyone should become Krishna conscious. He was fully satisfied in himself. A devotee is always satisfied with his own service, with his own Krishna consciousness. At the same time, today one devotee was sharing that Maharaj would sometimes cry with tears in his eyes. Why? Because seeing the condition of the materialists. And he would cry, he would lament. Why? Because his physical condition was not so good. So he was not able to serve, he was not able to preach much. So that is why he was lamenting. So on one hand, a devotee is very satisfied by power of his Krishna consciousness. On the other hand, he feels dissatisfied because others have not yet become Krishna conscious. This is what the heart of Srila Prabhupada, this is what Srila Prabhupada himself was. That is why he was such a wonderful saint, sadhu, staying in Vrindavan Dham, but he left Vrindavan Dham. In Vrindavan Dham, he was completely satisfied in his own Krishna consciousness. But he left Vrindavan Dham. Why? Because he thought that only I will live in Vrindavan. What about all these unlimited conditioned souls rotting in this material world? How will they take shelter of Vrindavan? So Srila Prabhupada dedicated his life. He took a huge risk and dedicated his life to serve the mission of his Guru Maharaj. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, only one who has life will preach, which means those one who does not preach is actually not living. This is what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is saying. Because if someone has got eyes and right in front of us, someone who's blind is trying to cross the road and a truck comes and this blind guy will just get, the vehicle will just, the truck will just go over him. So someone who has eyes, what will he do? He'll immediately run and save the blind man. Someone who has no life, someone who has no eyes will not be able to do anything. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is very strongly encouraging all of us to take to preaching. In the just concluded very famous Damodar month, Kartik month, in which I'm sure all of you would have also lit so many lamps every day, Deep Dan. Beautiful description by Shripad Aindar Prabhu. You all must be knowing of his guest Aindar Prabhu, who was the pioneer in 24-hour Kirtan in Vrindavan temple. So Shripad Aindar Prabhu was explaining why is it that Krishna was running and running and running, but Yashoda Mata was not able to catch him. And suddenly she was able to catch him and bind him. Now she was trying to bind him with a rope, but rope was always 2 fingers short. So it kept happening. She got so many ropes, but always the rope was 2 fingers short. So how is it that suddenly she was able to bind Krishna? So Shripad Aindar Prabhu was explaining, this is because Yashoda Mata did not get satisfied in trying to bind Krishna with her own ropes, but she engaged all the gopis of the entire Braj. You obviously know of the pastime. All the Braj Vasinis, all the gopis brought their own, threads or ropes from their own house. So when Krishna saw that, oh, she has engaged everyone in my service, which is called Sankirtan. Shivarendra was explaining this is Sankirtan. So when Krishna saw this Sankirtan, oh, she's not alone. She has engaged everyone in my service. Now I have no option but to get bound by her. So then Krishna agreed to be bound by Yashoda Mai. His Holiness Radha Govind Swami Maharaj, also explaining this Damodar Leela, he gave a beautiful teaching. He said, Krishna, after, once Yashoda Mata had bound him, and even in that bound condition, Krishna crawled and he delivered Yamal Arjun trees. Right? We all know Nalakruba and Manigriv. And then what was the result? After this, Nand Maharaj came and he opened the rope. That rope, which was so strong that even when the trees fell, the rope was still tied to Krishna's stomach, Udar. But then, after he had delivered these Yamalajun trees, Nand Maharaj came, and what happened? He very easily opened up Krishna. So Maharaj was saying that similarly, we may be conditioned souls. We ourselves may be bound within the three ropes of material nature, but even in that bound condition, if we make an effort to deliver others, like Krishna was bound with the rope, but he delivered Yamal Arjun trees. Similarly, we may be bound within the three modes of nature. Still, if we make an effort to help others become Krishna conscious, to deliver others, then like Krishna was released by Nand Maharaj, Krishna will make some arrangement that some or the other Vaishnava will come and he will also open our ropes and we'll become liberated. From this conditioned stage, we'll become liberated. My spiritual master, His Holiness Gopal Kir Goswami Maharaj, was saying that actually um, there is only one species in ISKCON, and that is preachers. He was saying that one who is in ISKCON and not preaching is actually not in ISKCON. So ISKCON is a preaching organization. It's a movement. The word movement means the word movement comes from move. So we have to be moving around. We have to be shaking ourselves up. We have to be going forward to do what? To preach. One of the slogans that we hear Srila Prabhupada promoted is preaching is the essence. So preaching is the most important activity for all the Vaishnavas of the entire ISKCON community worldwide. And how does one preach? Books are the basis. It is the books through which one preaches. Foundation of our Krishna consciousness is a very, very strong philosophy. The Srila Prabhupada, he says, what is the use of your 2 minutes of preaching? The person will hear and go away. But if he takes a book, he is eternally benefited. Sometimes we try to help others to become Krishna conscious. We are concerned, oh, my uncle, my aunt, my friend, my cousin, they should become Krishna conscious. We try and give them, we try and download upon them all the spiritual knowledge that we have learned in our lectures. But Srila Prabhupada is saying, what is the use of your preaching? The person will just hear and go away. But if he takes a book, he is eternally benefited. So, book distribution is the highest welfare activity that Srila Prabhupada is promoting or encouraging us. About the six Goswamis in the Shat Goswami Ashtakam, we sing Nana Shastra Vicharane Nipuno Sadharma Samsthapako Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manya Sharanya Karo Radha Krishna Padaravind Bhajana Nandena Mattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyogo Shri Jiva Gopalako. So what did these six Goswamis do? Nana Shas Vicharanik Nipuno. They were very, very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the scriptures and Sadharm Samsthapako for establishing religion. Lokanam Hitkarino Tribhune Manyo Shrinakaro. For the benefit of everyone, they assimilated all the knowledge, all the scriptural knowledge and gave us the essence. And Srila Prabhupada further, the essence that was given by Goswamis, he further added his nectarian purports to that essence and gave us his amazing books, Srila Prabhupada books. Even before Srila Prabhupada appeared in this pastime for serving Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's preaching movement, Narottam Das Thakur, Jeev Goswami, he engaged three acharyas, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Srinivas Acharya, and Srila Shyamanand Pandit. In what? In the service of book distribution. And amazingly, even at that time, in 1579 AD, Narottam Das Thakur would send his report to Jeev Goswami. This is my book distribution score. Many of you may know that we have World Sankirtan newsletters which are published, that okay, such and such month, such and such temple or congregation distributed so many books. So this is parampara. Even in just after the disappearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, on the instruction of Srila Jeev Goswami, these acharyas are distributing books and scores are being reported by Narottam Das Thakur himself to Jeev Goswami. Would you like to hear the scores of the book distribution scores of these acharyas? So here they are. Srinivas Acharya, Bhagavatam set with Vaishnav Toshini 6, Gyan Das songs 23, Govind Das songs 19, Narottam Das Prarthana 11, Bhaktir Samrit Sindhu, the nectar of devotion 1, Chaitanya Bhagavat 22, Chaitanya Mangal 6, Hari Bhakti Vilas 1, Murari Kripa Karacha 1. So this is Srinivas Acharya book distribution score. Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
Hari Bol!
Srinivas Acharya's book distribution score. Then Narottam Das Thakur, Bhagavatam sets 2, Prarthana 56, Chaitanya Bhagavat 45, and then Shyamanand Prabhu book distribution score. Bhagavatam sets 4, Narottam Das Prarthana 16, Bhakti Samrit Sindhu 5, Chaitanya Bhagavat 25, and so on and so forth. So all these exalted Vaishnavas who are actually eternal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even in Golok Vrindavan Dham, when they came in Mahaprabhu's Leela, they were also distributing books and reporting their book distribution scores to their authorities. And you know what further did they say? This is what Narottam Das Thakur says. He's lamenting after reporting the book distribution scores. He's lamenting. He's saying, until we are able to develop another type of technology to print the books, due to the difficulty involved in creating books by hand, most of our book distribution program will be postponed. Because at that time, there were no printing presses. It was Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur who for the first time introduced printing presses. And before that, Bhakti Thakur also got books printed. But in the late 1500 century, there were no printing presses. So however, Bhagavatam 5 sets, Chaitanya Bhagavatam 45 sets, they were all written with hand. So some devotees, some brahmanas were hired and they would copy, they would write with their own hand, and then books were distributed. But there is a limit. How many handwritten books can you have? How many books can one handwrite? So there was a limitation. There was a limitation in distributing books. So acharyas are lamenting, and they're saying when printing technology will develop, then the book distribution will really happen. And then this is what Narottam Das Thakur is further saying. We are sure that one day some magnanimous person will come and will develop the movement of ecstatic love of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, distributing books all over the world. Until then, what will be persons who are poor, bereft, and vulnerable do? So again, they're saying we are so low, we can't distribute books. But one day a huge magnanimous person will come. And who's that magnanimous person? Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He distributed books all over the world. He took this Kṛṣṇa consciousness movement all over the world. Further, he's saying, what is the benefit of discussing the stories of Lord's incarnations, worshipping Lord's deities, musical recitation of pastimes, chanting when we have such small scores? So they were so dissatisfied with their preaching effort. They were so dissatisfied with their book distribution scores that they're saying, Leela, discussion of Leela is worthless, no use. Deity worship, no use. Kirtan, no use. Jap, chanting 64 rounds, no use. Because we are our preaching score is so low. So we can understand from here the mood of the acharyas, how conscious they are about preaching, how conscious they are about preaching by way of book distribution. So that is why, as we were saying, it's a very, very important service, one of the highest and best services in ISKCON to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. Even Srila Prabhupada, when he was at Radhakund with his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the instruction that he got is, whenever you get money, please print books. And it is not coincidence, it is Krishna's special arrangement that in the year 1896, when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, for the first time, started preaching by way of book distribution, he sent his book, The Teachings and Precepts of Lord Chaitanya, to America. From India, he sent, and to other parts of the world, libraries in different parts of the world. In the same year, Srila Prabhupada appeared. So, and that is why Srila Prabhupada is always emphasizing on book distribution. He says here, these books are so potent that anyone who reads them is sure to become Krishna conscious. So it is very valuable service to distribute our books. Whenever I get report of my book selling, I feel strength. Regarding book sales figures, please endeavor in this way. This is the only solace of my life. When I hear that my books are selling so nicely, I become energetic like a young man. Prabhupada would get enthused. He was always enthused actually, but he's encouraging devotees. He's saying that whenever I see books are being distributed, I feel much more encouraged. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, everyone is a preacher, whether man or woman, doesn't matter. Everyone should go out. Letter to Karandhar in 1973. Distribution of my books is the most important thing. These other things, such as selling incense, records, are not as important as this. I want that my books be distributed in huge quantities, and thus we will be able to thoroughly convince the majority of population. So there are there are letters after letters, conversations after conversations, in which Srila Prabhupada is uh, suggesting, promoting, inspiring, motivating all of us to distribute his books. Distribution of books and magazines is our most important activity. Without books, our preaching has no solid basis. Book distribution is also chanting. These books I have recorded and chanted, and they are transcribed. It is spoken kirtan. So book distribution is also chanting. We all know that most of the books that Srila Prabhupada wrote were actually not handwritten. Prabhupada would speak and then they were transcribed. I'll share with you a wonderful video in which we can see how Prabhupada was actually writing books. He has been acclaimed as the world's most distinguished. Can you hear the voice, please, of this video?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. He has been acclaimed as the world's most distinguished scholar and teacher of Vedic philosophy and culture. While translating each Sanskrit verse, he refers to books of commentary by previous spiritual masters, and then gives a thorough explanation of the text. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives in this connection a description of the difference of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the ordinary living being. So this is the difference of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and ordinary living being. This has been described in the previous verse. Sarvam Pumana Vida Gunan Sutatvyam Navida Sarvagga Manantamire. The purport is that Supreme Lord is. So we can see here, Prabhupada is making such an amazing effort to transcribe, his and to give purports to different verses of the scriptures, and then he's self-recording them, and then they are transcribed, and then these transcriptions became available as books. And not just like this. This is, the final lesson. October 21, 1977. We all know 14th November, Srila Prabhupada on this very transcendental bed, he left his body. So even in the last phase of his life, when his body is so ailing, this is what Srila Prabhupada is doing.
Karma hetu. Karma hetu. If we engage in devotional service, we get a different nature. And if we engage in business of sense gratification, the result is and then the karma is they open up the hetu. Yeah. And according to the association of different nature, we get a body. Karanam gunasammasya satasat janmayam.
So we see here, Prabhupada's body is so ailing, so diseased, yet even at that time, Srila Prabhupada is giving purports to the verses of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Such a wonderful masterpiece Prabhupada has given. So Prabhupada was in the last phase of his life also writing these books or making arrangement so that these books were written, published, and distributed to us and the whole populace. So as we were saying earlier in the start of today's session, Name Ruchi, Jive Daya, Vaishnav Seva. So first and foremost, we have to develop taste for chanting. And then a devotee means Jiva Daya, who has compassion, who has mercy towards others. So if we have mercy towards others, what will we do? We'll preach. And what is the best way to preach? To distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. And that is also Vaishnav Seva, because Srila Prabhupada is a Vaishnava of the highest order. And this is what Srila Prabhupada wanted of us. He wanted us to go and distribute his books. So when we distribute, when we participate in book distribution, we are serving Vaishnava. So it becomes Vaishnav Seva. So we see here one more nice video of Srila Prabhupada.
So we have to simply take instruction from Guru, and if we execute that to our heart and soul, that is success. That is practical. I have no personal qualification, but I simply try to satisfy my Guru. That's all. My Guru Maharaj asked me that if you get some money, you print books. So there was a private meeting talking. Some of my important God brothers. So that since we have got this Bhagvata and marble temple, there has been so many dissensions. And everyone is thinking we occupy this room or that room, that room. I wish therefore to sell this temple and the marble and print some book. Yes. So I took up this from his mouth, that he is very fond of books. And he told me personally that if you get some money, print books. Therefore I am stressing on this point. Where is book? Where is book? Where is book? So kindly help me. This is my request. Print as many books in as many languages and distribute throughout the whole world. Then Kṛṣṇa consciousness movement will automatically increase.
So we see here from these videos also that Srila Prabhupada was always absorbed in book distribution, and he's saying himself, he's requesting all of us to participate in this service. So the point is, if we participate in book distribution, as we were saying, this is a display of Jivedaya, and this is also Vaishnav Seva. And when we do Vaishnav Seva, then actually we can develop Nameruchi. By our own effort, we eternally conditioned souls. How can we develop Namruchi? But when we do Vaishnav Seva, we get the blessings of Vaishnava, we get empowered by Vaishnava, and then by the blessings of that Vaishnava, we are able to actually chant our rounds better. We are actually able to do meaningful chanting and develop a taste for chanting. So let us all, I'm sure all of you devotees also know of this. The month of December is worldwide, every year celebrated as Gita Distribution Month, Gita Jayanti Month. This year, 25th December, which is the Christmas, is also Gita Jayanti. So it is being celebrated by ISKCON as World Gita Day. It is being promoted as World Gita Day. So my humble request is that all of you devotees also please come together and try your best to distribute as many books as possible. You can encourage your colleagues, your professional relations, your bodily relations, as in your relatives. You can encourage so many of them to take books for themselves and distribute books. They can further distribute to their own contacts, or they can sponsor. And how to distribute? First and foremost, we have to have strong sadhana. If we have strong sadhana, then Krishna will empower us to distribute his books. Second is all devotees, each devotee sitting here and maybe other devotees who have not been able to join. So each and every devotee should be engaged and aligned with the book distribution service. In the Delhi, east of Kailash Radha Parsarthi Mandir, especially in the marathon time, there is one specific devotee book distributor. He goes and he just sits in the altar room. And whenever visitors come for darshan, he gives them the blessing of Lord and then hands them copies of Bhagavad Gita, 5 copies, 11 copies, like that. So we have to engage everyone in this book distribution service. We should take targets because if we say that, okay, I'll also distribute books, but no targets, that means, as Shashika Prabhu says, that means it's like shooting an arrow in air. You have no goal. So we should take targets, we should think big, and we should engage anyone and everyone in this book distribution service. So we should do it with a lot of enthusiasm, determination, and patience. And just to share with you here the last couple of slides in the presentation, very powerful ones. This is what Srila Prabhupada is saying. I promise you that if you distribute my books throughout your life, Lord Chaitanya will personally come to deliver you. Each and every book distributor will go back to Godhead. I personally guarantee this. There is no doubt in this. This is Srila Prabhupada's guarantee to each and every book distributor. So thank you very much for giving me a chance today to speak a little bit about this Vaishnava mood of compassion, Jivedaya, and specifically that can be specifically and practically administered by way of book distribution. Srila Prabhupada Book Distribution Marathon ki jai, Samved God Bhaktivind ki jai. So I'd like to end here because I think we passed the scheduled time. If there are any comments or questions, you can please welcome from my side.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This was so powerful, so enlightening and enlivening. We are very, very blessed how you shared so many references from Granth Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita with so many examples and Prabhupada's words and giving us this nectar. We are so blessed and so inspired for this service. So thank you so much for sharing this wonderful presentation and inspiring all of us to share Prabhupada's books. So,
Thank you, Prabhu. I was just sharing Srila Prabhupada's purports, and my spiritual master says that when you speak, others may or may not hear, but at least you hear. The speaker at least hears oneself. So, for my own benefit, I was also trying to wake myself up to this task of distributing Srila Prabhupada books. So, thank you for giving me an opportunity. Mm. Any other comment or question? If any devotee has, I'll be happy to serve.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Very nice. So wonderful lecture, like Subhilas Prabhuji mentioned about all the wonderful points. I just wanted to ask about the current modern situation with the web and how now information is available on websites and there's database. So with the change of time, should anything be changed? Should it still be books, or should it be something connected to technology? Like we know that Prabhupada said it's better to give a book than 2 minutes of talking to a devotee. But now, Prabhuji, when this lecture that you mentioned, you just did, now it's available on the web. It can be seen by millions of devotees, and they will benefit from that. So how can we use the latest media also to preach Krishna consciousness? And what is the position of book distribution compared to the current situation where many devotees and people are more glued to the computer rather than reading books? Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, very good and nice and practical question, Prabhuji. Yes, that's also true. Many people are getting addicted to technology, and virtually their entire life is dependent on technology. So, for that, I understand there are already ebooks available, and I'm not really updated about whatever BBT is doing, but I'm sure a lot of things are being done by BBT to make the books available. On Kindle, many devotees I know of, they read the books on their Kindle or on their, mobiles or on other electronic devices. So they are available. Yet, we all know that, even as the technology is coming in a much bigger way than it has been there always, at the same time, even in the mundane world, even the material world, the books are still there, and the people who are really interested to get more knowledge, they spend their time on the physical books, because the physical book has its own charm, significance, um, feel. So similarly, spiritual books also, um, as far as I know, and as far as the book distribution scores go, over the years, book distribution has always been on the rise. So on one side, yes, people are addicted to technology. On the other side, uh, while they're addicted, they're also kind of disillusioned with the technology. They know they're addicted, so they want a change out of that addiction. So books are a very important and a good means of bringing that wonderful change. you know, and especially spiritual books. You can't, when we have Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in our hand, we can worship Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We can offer incense to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or Bhagavad Gita. But Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam on a mobile phone, so how will you offer incense to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam on a mobile phone? So the books, what I have, because these questions we have also asked from senior Vaishnavas here, from, current acharyas, and they always encourage us that don't worry, books are going to stay. And the alternate means are also being made available to those who want. But we also see that devotees also, they may read on their electronic devices, yet they also yearn for a time when they want to sit down with a book in their hand and read that book. So that feel is always there. So the words of the acharyas are our hope that book distribution will continue in the physical form also. So that's my humble, submission and understanding on this.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And I myself have found that when we have the book, we can probably make some notes. We can come back and look on the book. So yes, totally agree with you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. And then the books are a lifetime possession. Unlike an electronic device, which Control Alt Del crash, device crashed. So like that, the books are a permanent asset, lifelong asset. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Very nice, Krishna Katha and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and you explained the point I like the most is, even though they are suffering in the material world, but they are still, thinking about, the acharyas are thinking about mundane people like me, so that I can get out of this, material nature and, go back to Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And yeah, in continuation to with what Vamshivilas Prabhu asked, Prabhuji, so I mean, in this pandemic, every year we used to go, but little more door to door also. But I think now with the pandemic, it is little limited. One thing, we can certainly do is ship to their home. But any other ideas, Prabhuji, you'd like to offer?
Prabhuji, we heard from His Grace Vaishashika Prabhu, I think that's Silicon Valley. Prabhuji, I think preaches in Silicon Valley. The book distribution scores in Silicon Valley are higher this year than last year. So in this pandemic time, the entire congregation there is aligned to this book distribution, and they are doing mainly by way of telephonic preaching. All their contact lists on their mobiles, they are pulling them out, they're calling them up, they're organizing Zoom meetings like this, even for newcomers, a Zoom meeting for 5 or 6 newcomers together. Then they are preaching to them together, and especially encouraging them to install Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam at their home, or take copies of Bhagavad Gita. So yes, physical meetings are in one way limited, at least this year due to the pandemic, but the alternate means through technology are being used that people anyway get books. So even in India, I mean, even there, what we heard from His Grace Vaishashika Prabhu in a couple of meetings that we had, over the continent is that even there, during the pandemic times, there are devotees who are actually going out door to door also. And people are taking books. And even in India, even in Delhi, the book distribution has started on roads, even as the number of corona cases is going up continuously, but devotees are also going out and distributing. And what we hear is response is very good, because now the people also over the world, because of this pandemic, are a little bit more inclined to spirituality than they were earlier. So they are more receptive to the knowledge, and they're more receptive to taking these books. So people are welcoming devotees, in taking books. So yet devotees will have to limit their going out, because of one has to be safe oneself. So telephonic preaching is one way by which we can reach out to maximum number of people. Zoom meetings is the other way by which we can do.
Sure, Prabhuji. Yeah, very practical. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Last but not the least, I also want to share, Prabhuji, with everyone, and for those who may be hearing later as well, this recording that ISKCON Tampa, we are doing celebrating Moksha Ekadashi, which falls on the day of Christmas, or the World Gita Day. So we are requesting devotees, well-wishers to please take at least one case of Bhagavad Gita in either language, Hindi, English, Telugu, Marathi, whichever language you prefer, and share with your friends as a New Year gift, as a Christmas gift, or in happiness or sorrow at any times. Please share that. And we'll also be doing a yajna on anyone who takes Bhagavad Gita case. We'll be doing yajna on their behalf. So basically, you'll be getting the blessings and for the whole family. So we'll be chanting 140 verses, important verses from Bhagavad Gita. during the yajna, and that will be telecasted on Zoom as well. And we'll have Bhagavad Gita Chapter 2 quiz as well for everyone who wants to take part in there. So that's how we'll be celebrating. So there's a small sponsorship amount of $151 for one case. That's a suggested amount. And most of you have already taken, those who are present on this call. But as Prabhuji gave such a nice seminar on this topic, let's reach out to all our contact list and try as far as possible so that we can inspire devotees and our friends, well-wishers, relatives, neighbors all around the globe. So most of us from the Indian background have relatives and contacts in India as well. So if you would like, books to be distributed to your relatives, friends in India, we have done and, collaborated with His Grace Gopishvara Prabhu and Faridabad devotees and have sent multiple books every year practically. So if you want to take yourself or send to your relatives or send to your friends in US or in India or in Europe, this is like global network. ISKCON is one family. We have contacts everywhere. We will arrange for all the logistics and work it out for you. So please help as much as possible in this very dear service to Srila Prabhupada. And if you just want to sponsor and you want us to distribute books on your behalf, we will work that out as well. So just wanted to share this for anyone who would like to participate in any way. So it's almost 9 p.m. It's quite late for Prabhuji in India. So let's express our deep gratitude to His Grace Gopishvara Prabhu for this wonderful seminar on distribution, taking out his time and efforts for purifying us. So we'll chant 3 times loudly.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Srimlas Guru, for engaging me. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Distribution Marathon ki jai. Thank you.
Grace Krishna Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyascha bhavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Vaishnavavrinda ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you, all devotees. Hare Krishna. With due permission, I take your leave, please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.